Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Ben with Type Me, and I got a question for you. Does this equal this for me? Let's talk about it. Hey, welcome back to the Type Me Diabetes channel, where we cover tips, tools, and reviews for the Pancreatically Challenged. So this will be the 12th year that I've been a diabetic, and in those 12 years, I've chosen not to eat any chocolate bunnies. It's a personal decision I made. It's not like I'm anti-chocolate bunny. I actually love chocolate bunny. But this year I decided, you know what? It's time. I'm due. And I put up a poll. As a diabetic, what would you prefer? A milk chocolate bunny or a chocolate bunny with peanut butter? And so what I want to do today is kind of cover a couple different things leading up to eating something that others may consider poison for diabetics. If you're new to diabetes, this will be great information for you. If you've been a diabetic for a long time, this will be a review. Number one, I want to define the sliding scale and kind of give a brief overview for all of you non-diabetics or newly diagnosed diabetics. Number two, I want to show you a food label and kind of go over some groundwork on what you should and shouldn't be looking for when considering what to eat. Number three, we're going to reveal the results of the chocolate bunny poll, and I'm going to go ahead and munch on a chocolate bunny. The poll currently has about 394 votes. It's about a 60-40 split, and at the end of this episode I'm going to go ahead and reveal the results. If you have a preference, go ahead and put that in the comments below. So maybe you or a family member was recently diagnosed with diabetes, and you were told that you're going to be on something called a sliding scale. And while you're trying to absorb this life-changing information, your doctor continues to go on in the background, attempting to explain to you the mathematics involved and trying to calculate every milligram or gram of food that enters your mouth, and what he guesses will be the appropriate amount of insulin that will be required. Then he reminds you that you need to have something like OJ around at all times in case you go low. He pats you on your head and then sends you off like Cindy Lou Who or something. And on that day, you were magically transformed into a guinea pig and a walking pincushion. Welcome to diabetes. So what the heck is a sliding scale? Well, a sliding scale is very simple. It's essentially a personalized mathematical equation that you will use as a diabetic. You're going to use this equation to find out how many units of fast-acting insulin you're going to need and how many are required for you to reduce your blood glucose level. And you will also figure out how many fast-acting units of insulin you're going to need or will be required to reduce X amount of carbohydrates that you consume. Now, first off, it's important to note that this equation is different for every single diabetic, and it's going to change various times throughout your diabetic experience because there are many determining factors. A couple of these things are age, weight or fat percentage, your personal insulin resistance or sensitivity, stress, and exercise, including the amount of exercise and the type of exercise. And I guess this is why they call it a sliding scale, because it's continuously moving up and down. Some months you will use small amounts of insulin and you will have great results. Other months or days you will be on the opposite end of that spectrum. But for the most part, if you try to stay consistent with your diet, exercise, and sleep, which I understand is hard to do, you'll see your sliding scale is pretty much consistent on a day-to-day basis. Now, it's never going to be spot on, but you'll eventually learn through trial and error your rule of thumb. My personal rule of thumb is 1 unit of insulin fast acting for every 25 grams of carbohydrates. And that is also in conjunction with my 3 doses of slow acting insulin or basal insulin on a daily basis. Now that is a different math all in its own, and I'll leave you a link if you want to watch the video on how I break that down for myself personally. And if my sugar is already high, I'm going to go ahead and take 1 unit of insulin for every 50 milligrams per deciliter over what I want my goal number to be. So let's talk about food labels. Now, I remember before I was a diabetic, I never read food labels. I had no reason to read food labels. And I thought, well, this will be easy. I'll just look at the side of the box, find where it says sugar, and then take a dose based off of what my doctor said I should be taking. And after a month or so, I realized that the sugar isn't even what I should be looking at. It's actually the amount of carbohydrates in that meal. So here's a trick that I hope might help you. Try to figure out a baseline for yourself, maybe in the morning before you've eaten, Give yourself 25 grams of carbohydrates. It's usually about a piece of bread. And then see what your sugar does. Test yourself in an hour, 2 hours, see where it peaks, and then starts to come back down. And then this will give you a pretty good guess as to what your body normally does with that amount of carbohydrates. Then after figuring that out, go ahead and give yourself your prescribed amount of insulin per carbohydrate. Hopefully that doesn't make you go low, but if it does, let your doctor know and then begin to scale back. So with the sliding scale, we could try to guesstimate what the height of your blood glucose will be before it starts to come back down on the slope. And now the results for the poll. So here in Arizona, we have a chocolate factory, which is a local favorite in the city of Glendale. It's called the Soretta Factory. They're a family-owned business, and they were kind enough to let me come in with my cameras and watch them make chocolate. So before I give you the results, watch this tasty footage. That was bad. And the winner is the chocolate bunny with peanut butter. God, I was hoping this would win. My favorite. I guess it's time to eat it. Oh my God, it's been so long. Okay, that's enough. That was amazing. Okay. If something I shared today affects someone you know, please share this video with them. If you're a diabetic or something I shared today affects someone you love, please put your comments below. I want to hear your stories about sliding scale, glycemic index, and let me know what's your favorite chocolate bunny. And remember, we're the authors, editors, and consumers of our story. Write a story worth living, make sliding scale adjustments as needed, and invest in your success. I'm Ben, I'm Type Me, and I'll see you next time.